yesterday. That was about trade. And then today we're doing document D, Karen Armstrong, and it's this about the Ghazu. So today this will be about conquest. It says, for centuries, Arabs had added to their inadequate resources by means of the Ghazu raids against other tribes. Please highlight or underline Ghazu raids against other tribes. But Islam had put a stop to this because the Ummah Muslim community, underline that, was not permitted to attack one another. What would replace the Ghazu, which had enabled Muslims to scratch out a meager livelihood? The answer was a series of Ghazu raids against the non-Muslim communities in the neighboring countries. The unity of the Ummah would be preserved by an outwardly directed offensive attack. There was nothing religious about these campaigns. The objective was plunder and a common activity that would preserve the unity of the Ummah. For centuries, the Arabs had tried to raid the richer settled lands beyond the Arabian Peninsula. The difference was that this time they encountered a power vacuum. Underline or circle power vacuum, which means Persia and Byzantium, that's the pagan type of religion, and the Christians, had both engaged for decades in a long series of wars with one another. Both were exhausted. So it's about timing. Muslims raid other group of tribes called Ghazus, where they raid, they loot, plunder, and they steal everything valuable they can. And that makes them richer so they can spread. And at the same time, the other neighbors are weak, so they're easier to raid. When Muslims take over for the pagans, they make it so you cannot raid or beat up other Muslims. You can only beat up people that aren't Muslim. Naturally, people are going to switch to being Muslims just so they get protected from being attacked. So the questions are down here, and the first question says, what was the Ghazu, and what was the Ummah? You can ask the class and pause the video so that somebody actually answers it. And the answer is a raid on other tribes for loot and plunder. And the Ummah was the Muslim community. Number two, what was the purpose of the Ghazu in the years before Islam? The pagans would just do what? So you can pause the video. And the answer was a raid on anyone nearby for booty, means valuable item. Question 3, how did Islam change the way the Ghazu worked? You can pause the video to ask that one. And the answer was, like they said, the raids were changed to be only on non-Muslim tribes. Number 4, why were the Arabs able to conquer much of Persia and parts of Byzantium? You can pause the video to ask that one. And the answer is Persians and Byzantines were weak from fighting each other for so long. Question 5, how does this document explain how Islam spread so quickly? You can ask that one. It's going to be tough. I don't know if anybody's going to get this. So on our page, these are not the answers. This is the list you can pick from. Technology, trade, foreign study, what's the other ones? Technology, trade, foreign study. conquest, and the other one. But out of these, the only correct answer would be, since they're going and beating people up and taking stuff, that's conquest. They used the military and did raids. You were kind of forcing people to become Muslim for protection from these raids. Okay? If I said to period 1, 2, if the Russians ever conquered us, and then they said, if you're a Cowboys fan and you can survive, I'd say, all right, I'm a Cowboys fan. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, but I mean, it's better than being taken out. So, if I had to do that to survive, I would. Okay? So that's document D. After this, you would then go and work on either document B or C. I would suggest C because we're looking at a map and then answering the questions. Okay? And that ends the video.